Welcome all sports fans, YouTubers, Facebookers, social media all across the nation. Uneducated Network presents Uneducated Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Carlos Clayton. Today we have some big news. We want to talk about the former head coach of the Ole Miss Rebels football team. Hugh Freeze is forced to resign because he's been on the naughty list. We will talk about that. But our first topic of the day, everyone's been talking about it. Social media's been buzzing about it. Breaking news, Kyrie Irving, the point guard of the Cleveland Cavaliers, they just went to 3 straight NBA Finals, right? He has come out publicly and said that he wants to be traded from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Shocker. It happened probably about 4:30, 5 o'clock Eastern time, and it's been buzzing, and everyone's been like, what is going on? Kyrie Irving no longer wants to be in Cleveland. His reasons being, from Brian Windhorst, he's saying that he wants to be the focal point. I don't know about being the focal point, if that's what he wants to say. And he also said that he does not want to play along with LeBron James. That was crazy to hear too, because who doesn't really want to play with LeBron James? But before I get into my reasons why I don't mind it at all, let's talk about what went down. So what happened was they said they had a meeting last week. They talked to Dan Gilbert and brought up the fact that they wanted to talk about certain things about the team. Where am I going to fit in? So you had Kyrie and his agents, and they're talking to Dan, saying, like, where do we see the future going on? Because, we don't want to be tangled up in this crazy web, because we all know that LeBron James is the guy, the man who makes all the rules and can do whatever the hell he wants to do in Cleveland. And I don't want to be a part of that being, strangled and stringed up. So it's very crazy to actually think that would happen, because you thought he would have waited a little more towards probably next year, because he has a player option in 2019. But he did not. He wanted it right now. And man, boy, did that shock the whole entire world. Here's what's going down. I think focal point is not what he wants. He wants to be his own man. He wants to be his own guy. And he wants to be his own guy in a place where he know that they're about sort of winning, a winning attitude. Here's why I say winning attitude. I don't blame him for leaving, because you know why? All he did was beat LeBron to the punch. He did. He's saying, no, LeBron, you're the guy, right? And you get to make all these 1-year, 2-year deals every single year because you want to weigh your options out. Well, what if we don't win next year? You're going to leave me high and freaking dry with this core group that we have, that when you leave, we are going nowhere. And I don't want to sit back with us going nowhere, because guess what? Nobody wants to go to Cleveland. I keep telling people that. I don't know if it's just the city or the state, but no free agents, unless you're LeBron James, who was bred in Akron, Ohio, which is, he's an Ohio guy. But no one wants to go to Cleveland for free agency. They're either being traded or they're being drafted to it. That's just it. So he's saying, before you leave me high and dry and leave me with these guys, it's just me and Kevin and the rest of these, wash-up players, I'm going to beat you to the punch. I'm not about to sit here, because you can make all the rules that you want, and you can get all these 1-year or 2-year deals with a player option for the next year. So they're basically just 1-year deals, because he will always opt out to get more money or to see his options. So if they do go a route and lose to, say, the Warriors again, and they go to 4 straight finals and just can't win it, well, you're not going to bail out on me. So I'm going to beat you to the punch. That's what I really thought it was. In hindsight, people could think that they have a great relationship. From what I've heard, LeBron is very difficult to work with. And not saying that he's a bad guy, because he's not. He's a great guy. But when it comes down to playing in basketball, you got to play by his style, what he's best at. Say, for instance, Kevin Love and Chris Bosh. Those guys dominated the paint area every single game. They were in there 15 feet, backing guys down, shooting mid-range jumpers. Kevin Love was getting 20 games. But then when you play with LeBron, LeBron likes the court to be spread. And now Kevin Love and Chris Bosh, they were basically relegated to just shooting threes the whole entire game. And that's what I mean when you have to change your style. Kyrie signed a 5-year extension back in 2014. David Griffin, who is now gone, was a big part of Kyrie's signing. He said, you know what, we got a plan for you. We want you to be the guy. But then 2-3 weeks later, here comes LeBron James leaving Miami. He was like, hey, wait, hold on about being the guy. I'm going to be the guy. You could be my sidekick. And I think Kyrie wants to be his own man. Not basically a focal point, but be known as the leader on a decent or good team. And I say decent or good team, it's funny because the few choices he decided, you got San Antonio. Oh my goodness. You got New York, you got Miami. Those guys is on his radar as well. And then the biggest one that I can really think of that he wanted to go on to, which might be a scary situation, the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm sorry, I thought it was cold as hell in Minnesota. I really did. I thought that no one was going to Minnesota because it was so freaking cold. Just like Cleveland. Like, who's going to Cleveland because it's just those weird towns. I thought Minnesota was worse. It's obviously not. Jamal Crawford doesn't think so. And then, of course, you got Jim Butler was traded, but they're pitching for Kyrie to come now. Jimmy Butler and Karl Anthony Towns. They're saying, man, you come to us, we can run shop against the Warriors, and we can run shop against the NBA. And can you imagine Kyrie going to Minnesota? Can you imagine Kyrie going to San Antonio? Now, he won't be the guy in San Antonio because it'll be Kawhi Leonard, but Kawhi Leonard isn't as bashful or as superstarish as LeBron James. They're both great players, but Kawhi Leonard is going to love, and he will let Kyrie take over that team. He'll do the little things, and Kyrie can be the guy scoring-wise. Kawhi isn't going to mind that at all. So that's why San Antonio was probably a place. And you have Greg Popovich, who's probably the best coach in NBA history or in coaching history right now, that will coach him up and show him how to play team ball while still being the man. Tyronn Lue had Kyrie's back too, but Tyronn has to follow LeBron's ways, LeBron's rules. So I don't ever mind. So people always harp on people joining teams, making these super duper teams. So don't get mad. Be happy or applaud someone for wanting to be their own guy. I think focal point was just a little hard, not harsh, but I don't think that's what he really wanted to say. Focal point, because we all know people were criticizing him 5 years ago for being a focal point for an already horrible Cleveland Cavaliers team, which went to 2 straight number 1 picks. It's not really his fault. One, he was still young. Now he's had so much experience, so much finals experience, so much big time game experience. And he's letting LeBron know, look here, dude. This isn't Jordan and Pippen where, yes, there are 2 great players, but Jordan was obviously the better person. Yes, LeBron is still the better person than Kyrie, but in big game moments, especially in the playoffs, you saw Kyrie kind of go over LeBron. We all remember when the Cavaliers won the finals, it was Kyrie who hit the game-winning shot. It was Kyrie that took over in that series. And it was Kyrie in this series right here. Yes, LeBron can get his points, but Kyrie is like when Kyrie took over, he could not be stopped. And he wants to bring that kind of energy into a decent team. Don't stick me here with these Cavaliers and then we go, 30 and 52 again. No, sir, no, sir. You're not going to do me like that. So, because LeBron is going to do that. Whether you like it or not, Cavalier fans, LeBron is going to lead. And he will lead this team high and dry once again. He's already completed his mission by giving the city of Cleveland a championship. So he feels like I can lead whenever I want to now because I delivered on my promise. Kyrie's like, you know what, dude? Kyrie has a big feeling. You're going to leave me. And I'm not about to be the one to be the sacrificial lamb and be sitting here with this sorry team. So no, sir. I want to be out now. Now, there's a possibility they get trade with New York. That might be the only team because a Kyrie Irving team with the Knicks, the Cavaliers won't fear. So I think that'll be the only East team that you get equal star power back because LeBron does want Carmelo. So I can see Kyrie going to New York. But that's the only East team I see them actually playing with. But the Knicks aren't budging on Kristaps Porzingis. They're not going to trade Porzingis for Kyrie Irving and Carmelo. They're not doing that. So you're going to get a first-round pick. We'll give you a first-round pick and Carmelo if you give us Kyrie Irving. And then we'll see what goes on with that. Now, Kyrie says one of his destinations he want to go to. He also said he wants to go to Miami, too. That'd be kind of crazy as well. LeBron James' old team. Now, Kyrie Irving's on that team trying to get them to somewhat of the promised land. They're in the Eastern Conference. But I don't see them dealing with anyone in the East. I see them dealing with the West. I see them dealing with the lower teams. It's all these big names he just set up at the same time. Whoever comes out with a trade, they're going to be traded. I think it'll be a lower West team. When I say that, I mean like the Sacramento Kings. I see a Denver Nuggets team. I see those two teams in the running. And I also see the New York Knicks in the East just because you have a Carmelo Anthony. The Cavaliers are going to try and get something in return with Kyrie. This isn't Kevin Love being traded. This is Kyrie, who's a top notch above Kevin Love. And he is a superstar. So it's amazing. You don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but you knew that Kyrie, when he signed that max deal in 2014, he knew he was going to be the man. And he wanted everything around him. And then all of a sudden when that buzzkill comes in, LeBron James, and kind of lets you know that you got to take a seat back to me now. I can see why you get hurt. Kyrie's won his championship. Kyrie's been to 3 straight finals now. And he's a big reason why they've been to those finals. Let's be honest. It isn't just LeBron James doing all the dirty work. No, it's Kyrie was mixed in there too. So Kyrie has nothing to be ashamed of for winning this trade. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't mind. I'm glad he actually had the kahunas and did it. Because if he did not do it, LeBron was going to do it. And LeBron can be in your face and say, we're going to the finals next year. Let's dap it up. Yeah, that's all cool and dandy. But if you go to that same finals and lose again, LeBron is out. Ask the Cavaliers the first time. Ask D Wade and Chris Bosh the second time. I mean, LeBron will leave you. And Kyrie said, I'm not trying to be part of that. That's not my swag. I'm going to leave and find my own spot. And I don't blame Kyrie one bit, man. So we shall see. Just when you thought the off season couldn't get any better, this month and a half, 2 months is better than the whole entire regular season. I keep saying it, man. But I'm just happy to be a part of this off season, which it's making me look forward to the regular season coming up. I'm very anxious to see where Kyrie Irving actually winds up in, because that could be a serious contender if he goes to the right place. If he goes to Minnesota, watch out. That team is just damn right dangerous. But they'll have to trade Jeff Teague, obviously, if they want some kind of deal. Jeff Teague, and they have picks too, so Minnesota could be the likely deal. But if you do that, you run the chance of either, you might be facing Minnesota or for sure a Golden State Warriors team in the finals. So just be careful what you wish for, Cleveland. LeBron is everything is coming to haunt LeBron. LeBron started, I don't care what no one says, LeBron started the super team. Don't say Boston. Boston was just 3 old guys, 3 guys out of their primes trying to get a championship. And I don't blame that. LeBron is the one that got guys in their primes, in their mid-20s, to do that. So now he got upended when the Warriors did that, +1 with Kevin Durant. And now he's getting, with that being said, that's making them feel like they have to be this warrior team, no pun intended. They have to get more help. And LeBron keeps saying, we need more help. And Kyrie's like, dude, we got the tools to get to the finals. If we just do our thing, we can win the championship. Let's not front. But every time he's tired of LeBron pointing fingers, because LeBron will point the fingers like crazy. And every time LeBron loses, he's pointing fingers. We need more help. We need more help. And when they win, a lot of people bask in glory, which is fine because LeBron is the best player on the planet right now. But Kyrie is, easily top 10 player as well. So you cannot fault him for being kind of mad or being and he's in this stage in his life where he wants to be his own guy and doesn't want to play with LeBron James. That takes kahunas. I applaud Kyrie Irving, because Kyrie Irving, if he does go to anybody, he's going to make that team just better. And I know he wants to be traded to a team that's somewhat contending. But I still think that he'll go to a team like the Kings or a team like the Nuggets, something like that. A team like Utah, they'll trade him to somewhere like that because they don't want to see him in the finals. The worst case scenario is you bring him to Minnesota or you bring him to San Antonio and you meet up with him in the finals and you lose. So I don't think they're going to do that. I would love to see Minnesota, but I don't see that actually going down unless Minnesota throws you Jeff Teague and 2 straight draft picks. And here we go, right? So that's crazy news. We'll talk more about that. Check me out on In the Paint with Red. I'll be hosting that with my man Devontae Rome. We'll talk exclusively Kyrie Irving wanting out of Cleveland. So be on the lookout for that. We'll upload that probably today or tomorrow. So be on the lookout for In the Paint with Red, my man Devontae Rome. But now we're done with basketball. We will get into that more probably the next couple of days on this show. But we want to talk about big news that went down. The University of Ole Miss, good old Mississippi. Yes, ex-head coach Hugh Freeze is now out. That's why I said X. He is out of Ole Miss after crazy allegations, and there were talks a couple years ago that he was basically running a jungle, running a zoo. He didn't have control of the team, and they lost a few picks or whatever you want to call that, recruitments, because of that. And after going 10-3 just 2 years ago, this year they fall 5-7, and it's looking bad. What happened was they got his cell phone, which is basically a university issued cell phone, and they saw a crazy pattern of numbers that belong to female escort services. And it got me thinking, Lord, just 2016 they had 13 of the top 300 guys that committed to Ole Miss. And all these 5-star players are coming in out the blue, and you're like, whoa, what happened? Now, they said these phone calls have been happening since 2012. He's been hooking these brothers up. I'm going to show you guys a good time. But I don't know, it's an embarrassment for Ole Miss. It's an embarrassment for just the university itself. They need to break it down, wash it up, fire the whole entire staff, and just start over. Because what Hugh Freeze brought to that team, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. But now the downs are outweighing the ups, and that's never good. When you first start into a program, you're going to have those ups and downs. It is what it is. But eventually your ups will outweigh your downs. No. In this case, the downs definitely outweigh the ups, man. They found a pattern of him calling escorts, and they said that's not the behavior that they want from their leader, their so-called leader, the guy who runs young men. He leads young men. He's leading them, and that right there is showing no class at all. That's going a little bit too far beyond and above to get recruitments and to get players to be on one side. You don't have to do that. You put yourself in jeopardy. He lost so much money. He had, I think, about $6 million the next couple of years that were going to be granted, but he gets none of that money. And now you lose that, it'll be tough for you to find another job in Division I. Because who's going to trust that? I mean, you got female escorts taking advantage and deflowering these babies. That's crazy, but no. They have to break it down. It was crazy because he was already on thin ice from accusations of basically running a madhouse, losing recruitments, and I don't know what really went down because there's more secrets to this. There really is. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more dirt that we just don't know about. But if he did resign, they were going to fire him anyway. So look, resign, fired, it doesn't matter to me, man. You got the boot, brother. Usually when people resign, it's because it's like saving face. They want you to save face. We didn't fire you. You just let yourself go. And look, you got fired. Now, some people do resign for personal issues or personal reasons. That's fine. But in these kind of cases right here, you already know, like, he got fired. He got the boot. Ole Miss was in the phone, and they just got to the point where they were actually somewhat contenders in the SEC West. And now you're going to fall flat on your face once again. You went 5-7 with great talent, to be honest, and now you're gonna go 5-7, 4-8 with boo-boo talent, and this might happen for the next 5-6 years, unless there have been rumors that Lane Kiffin might be coming down to Ole Miss, and there you go, Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin's been everywhere. Lane Kiffin's had like 8 jobs in 6 years, man. That's crazy. But Lane Kiffin is on his way. The rumors are that he's going to Ole Miss, and if he's already a star, high-powered star name. So you bring that in. Hopefully, you can get the buzz rolling sooner rather than later, and that will bring recruitments in because people love playing for Lane Kiffin and his style, his system. So he might join the SEC West as a head coach now, instead of being the offensive coordinator for Alabama. But Hugh Freeze is going to have a tough time finding a job pretty much anywhere in the football realms for a long time, for the next couple of years. Probably have to lay low, go to high school, Division III or something like that, because, brother, you are in so much trouble, man. you feel bad for them, but you do what you got to do to impress these kids. But sometimes there's going too far to impress these kids. You want to show them a good time, man. You can do a lot better than hitting up females. Don't get it twisted. The players ain't complaining. They weren't complaining. Look, we didn't say nothing. You got busted with a cell phone. We didn't say nothing. but at the same time, you got to show more maturity if you're gonna be the leader of a college Division I football team in the SEC and the SEC West, where you have LSU, Alabama, and Auburn. Those guys are coming for your heads every Saturday, and you just messed this whole entire program up. So that's tough to hear. But I want you guys to like, subscribe, comment on the Kyrie Irving situation. How do you feel about Kyrie leaving LeBron? Is it a wise decision, or is he doing what he got to do to be the man somewhere else? Because I'm like, if he didn't leave, LeBron's leaving regardless. So you're not going to leave me in this mess situation. Tell me how you feel about a huge freaking fire from Ole Miss. And where does Ole Miss go next? I want to hear your thoughts and your comments as well, man. So please subscribe to the Uneducated Network on YouTube. Also subscribe to Uneducated Sports Talk. And we're having a ball. We got more shows coming out. It's going down. It's getting crazy, so we're loving it. Please subscribe to your friends, mamas, daddies, uncles, brothers, sisters, everybody that you know. Subscribe to Uneducated Network, man, and hit us up, man. So hit me up on Facebook. My name is Carlos Clayton. I'm from Lake Charles, Louisiana, if that helps. Hit me up on Twitter at Carlos Clayton _ I repeat, at Carlos Clayton _ So, hope you had a good time. We talk basketball, we talk football, man. So, we'll see what goes on next. We'll talk more basketball news because this off season is crazy. It's crazy. So, we are loving it. So, as always, sports fans, you know what it is. This is Uneducated Sports Talk, hosted by your boy Carlos Clayton. And as always, stay smart, stay uneducated. Peace.